technique yet. Hello everyone, me again. I've got another update for you on the old mosquito. Got an update for you on the mosquito. But before I do, usual shout outs to Model Pro 72 Lenny, Basic Modelling Rob, Primitive Modelling Chris, Aaron Newlands, Atomic Dog 32 Brian, Alex Modelling, Shane Trains, Shane Harland, Kalido 1 Lewis, Gav 909, Dad's Guy, Spartek, Callum Warding, RASDB, Hirakabushi, I'm back on running on the old mosquito, by the way. Dead Ram Tom, Master HQ, Waterloo 745, yeah, mate. Hey mate, got my next update for you. As you said, you can't wait. Can't wait to the next update. Mr. Model Mosquito WS. Crazy Kit Builder, Crazy Modeler, Trainboy 220, Aurora 95. Yeah mate, I read your comment last night saying can't wait till she's finished. Well, to be honest mate, I'll be honest with you mate, and everyone on YouTube and Facebook, the pace of the build of the mosquito, in terms of the pace that I'm going, in terms of what I can get done on it on a day, is quite a lot. I mean, yesterday, fortunately, I managed to get the door. I managed to get the tail. Not only get the tail light on, I almost get the door and ladder on. So now, I've just got to do the old. I think today's sub-assemblies, I think, are the canopy. And we'll put it this way, I'm not that far off now from finishing it, as in on the assembly front. On assembly work wise, I'm not that far from finished it, because I've just got to do the transparency, the pilot, the navigator, the hydraulic lines, and then adding the pilot and navigator, the transparency and the radio mast to the aircraft. And I've just got to add the hydraulic lines and the pilot and navigator, because I'm going to have the pilot and navigator standing outside with it, because I think that's just a nice touch. And that way, not only do you get to appreciate, then that way you can appreciate the cockpit detail. So yeah, where were we? Hobby Modeler, UK Scale Modeler, Mr. Great Models, dude. Yeah, I'm back. I'm up and running with it, and I'm looking forward to your next build. Also back to Waterloo 745. Yeah, your comment about my history. Yeah, I do know my history fairly well. I don't know if you got my comment, mate, but I actually did say in my comment, I'm not lying, mate. I literally kick myself every day for not doing history as a GCSE, because if I'd have done history as a GCSE, I think I would have got a high grade in it. I would have got quite a high grade. I would have got quite a high grade in history GCSE. In history as a GCSE, but hey ho, I didn't do it. I regret it now, but that's life, unfortunately. Mr. Great Models, Paul Marsh, Engineering Darkside and Musvili, Dan, Max, Merrin, Ellie, Amelia, Kelsey, Kira, Chloe, Kelsey, Kira, Chloe, Mum, Hayley, Billy, June, Greg, Lynn, Lenny, Ashley, Andrew, Gavin, George, Tom, John, Joe, Sam, Caroline, Luke, Lisa, Lucy, and Charlotte. Speak to you in a week's in 1 week's time. You're probably having your second day in Malta. Hope you have a good time out there. Hope you're having a good day out, having a good day out there today. Let me you said you'll keep a lookout for how far. Now, another thing, people, I want to touch on is that I've asked my friend who I've been mentioning in all my updates and who I mentioned in my last update. As I said, she's going to Malta, and of course in Malta, and many of you, bit of history for you here. Another bit of history for you here. In Malta, there's a race. There's now a drag raceway, drag racing car raceway called How Far Drag Raceway. Now, How Far itself, the location of it, many of you might know this, is where the RAF used to base its fighters, which is it used to be known as RAF Hellfire, and it was the southern airfield, and it was the most southerly airfield in Malta. And of course, during the Second World War, they used it to protect the Maltese civilians on the ground from the incoming raids, from the incoming bombers of the Luftwaffe, from Luftwaffe and the Aeronautica bombers, and from the German Luftwaffe and the Italian Aeronautica Air Forces bombers. Because honestly, Malta during the Second World War took a heavy pounding, especially when it comes to, as I said, with the Luftwaffe and the Italians. You've got two air forces with two large Air Force fleets of bombers heading onto one small island. Well, it's not small, but onto one island. When those bombs drop on it, that will just literally cause all sorts of havoc. Anyway, last shout out to Charlotte done. History lesson done. Update on mosquito going to do now. Right, as you can now probably gather, or see rather, I've now, if I can get this bloody thing to focus, and get this bloody thing in focus, you can now probably see, if I mount it at an angle like so, I've added the entrance door to the starboard side wall. Now that's the entrance door that I showed you earlier. Now that door is the way they get in, and I've also added, because you've got to when you do it with the door open, the boarding ladder. Now the reason I did not do the update last night like I would have done, because this very ladder, I done something a bit stupid. What I did was I put the aircraft on nose up. I put it phone nose up, but this ladder snapped. It snapped and it fell and it broke. So what I then had to do was take it off, take that top part of the ladder there off, glue the bottom half to it, and then when it was sort of rigid enough, I glued it back onto the airframe. So yeah, that's the ladder, and then obviously that's the front half of the door. But to be honest, the only detail you're going to get on the front half of the door is that bit there where the hinges are. Obviously, when that's painted and all camouflaged, obviously then look nice, because obviously then you've got the you'll have the camouflage on the door. So yeah, that's the whole update on the mosquito. I'm sorry it's gone for 10 minutes long, but obviously I wanted to add a few things in, particularly RAF Hellfire, my friend going to Malta, which is where RAF Hellfire was based, was rather. Also, I wanted to also let you know the reason why I didn't do the update for the update last night, and also that I regret myself for not putting history as a GCSE, and also to let people know that yes, the amount of progress I get on this in a day is quite far. I mean, I've got quite far on it now, and to be honest, don't forget I started this 5 days ahead of schedule in March. 5 days in the end of March I started this. So if I hadn't started that in the 5 days at the end of March, if I'd started it now, if I'd have started on the 1st of April like I said I would have, I'd only probably now be either on the wings or the engines. And now I'm actually nearing finishing. Now this is actually nearing finishing. To be honest, because the progress on this is, because I can get quite a lot of progress done on this in a week, I would not be surprised if by next week I'm painting this up. I'm painting the mosquito up. So anyway, that's me. That's me on my update and the other stuff. But obviously, I'll just call it an update, and the stuff that I've added in is just stuff that I wanted you guys to know about. Obviously, various things. As I said, history on how far, the progress on this, the fact that I regret not doing history as a GCSE, and that obviously my friend's now in Malta for 2 weeks, and I will not see her till she gets back. Right, that was me being me and doing all that business. I'm now going to sign off. So till the next update, bye bye.